Story, I've got a special guest right here if she'll cooperate. This is Lola. This is Lola. She's my Chihuahua. And she likes stories too. But sometimes she starts whining. So we'll get Lola to go eat some snack or something. But tonight we're going to talk about, if you saw the title, tonight we're going to talk about overcoming fear. Because a lot of times there are things people are afraid of. I know this past week, some people that I love very much, Presley had to have surgery last week, and I'm sure that was a little scary, having to go to the hospital and spend the night. And then today, Sarah, my niece, who's one of our faithful watchers of Lori, she had to have all 4 of her wisdom teeth taken out, and that was a little scary, I'm sure. You know, anytime somebody's pulling on your teeth. But, you know, God has a plan for us to overcome fear. And we have the Bible that teaches us stories about that. And tonight's lesson is from Mark chapter 4. And it is about Jesus helping the disciples overcome their fear. They were out. A storm came up like we've been having every afternoon this week, and they got really scared. Maybe you're scared of thunder. Maybe you're scared of the dark. But if we learn to overcome our fear and put our trust in Jesus, then we don't have to really be afraid of anything. So tonight's story is called The Storm from our Rhyming Bible, and it's from the book of Mark. Matthew, Mark. It's the second book in the New Testament. Okay, here we go. It's called The Storm. Jesus was tired from preaching all day. "It's time," he said, "to get away." Near the dock, some fishing boats lay. So they got in a boat and they sailed away. So Jesus and his friends got in a boat to get a little rest. A gentle breeze began to blow as the evening sun was sinking low. The disciples sailed across the deep, and Jesus, he soon fell fast asleep. He liked to take a nap on the boat. I like to do that sometimes when I'm on a boat. It's so relaxing. But suddenly, the wind grew strong. It pushed the little boat along. When thunderclouds began to form, the disciples knew it was a coming storm. Look at the dark clouds. They knew a storm was coming, and their little boat was in trouble. The waves, they grew tall and splashed around. The wind made such a howling ooh sound. The little boat pitched up and down until they cried, "We're going to drown! Jesus, wake up! Don't you care that waves are splashing everywhere?" The storm was upon them, and Jesus was sleeping. Jesus lifted up his head. He looked around, and then he said, "Be calm. Be still, O wind and sea." And it was calm immediately. Right then, the wind and the wave obeyed his voice. The disciples couldn't believe their eyes. The storm had stopped to their surprise, but Jesus said, "You need not fear. Didn't you know that I was here? Have faith in God. He's always near." And so in this time today of our lives, sometimes people are fearing things. We've got a little pandemic going on called COVID-19, and people are afraid of getting sick. People are talking about whether we should go back to school. And I know maybe some of you children, I'm a teacher, and our friend Miss D who listens, she's a teacher. And we're thinking about going back to school because we miss the children. But we don't know what is going to bring. but we know that God will take care of us. Oh, and you know what we need to do? We need to say congratulations to Miss D. She got a new a pet today, a kitty cat named Sage. She rescued Sage, just kind of like Jesus rescued the disciples from the storm. Sage was at a shelter and Miss D rescued him. So it's always good to look out for people and help them stay calm, and animals help anybody stay calm and overcome fear. All right, now we're going to read a funny little story called There's an Alligator Under My Bed. And sometimes at night, when I was a little kid, I used to be afraid of the dark. And so I always slept with so many stuffed animals, there was barely room for me. And I had a pig with a, it was an elephant. I had an elephant with a plastic nose. And you know what I'd do? I'd chew on its nose till I fell asleep. That poor little elephant's nose got shorter and shorter. But I loved him. He was my favorite. Okay, so this story is by one of my favorite authors. It's really funny. Mercer Mayer. You may know Mercer Mayer from Little Critter. He's done all the Little Critter books. If you haven't read Little Critter, you need to read Little Critter. But this story's called There's an Alligator Under My Bed. Do you believe there's really an alligator? See what you think from this story. There's an Alligator Under My Bed by Mercer Mayer. There used to be an alligator under my bed. You see it? Let's see. When it was time to go to sleep at night, I had to be very careful. Because I knew he was there. But whenever I looked, he hid. Or something. So, I'd call Mom and Dad. Mom! Dad! But they never saw it. It was up to me. I just had to do something about that alligator. So, I went to the kitchen to get some alligator bait. Gonna catch him an alligator. I filled a paper bag full of things alligators like to eat. Look at all the stuff he's getting. Carrots and grapes. I don't know about carrots and grapes for alligators. Oh well, he must know something maybe we don't know. I put a peanut butter sandwich, some fruit, and the last piece of pie in the garage. Why do you think he's putting it in the garage? And I put cookies down the hall. And I left fresh vegetables on the stairs. I put a soda and some candy next to my bed. Then I watched and waited. Sure enough, he came out to get something to eat. Look at that alligator. He's drinking that soda already. Look at him. He's got it. Then I hid in the hall closet and I watched him. I followed him down the stairs. Look, he ate all the fresh vegetables all the way down. I followed him down the hall, down the stairs, and oh my, when he crawled into the garage, what do you think he's gonna do? I slammed the door and I locked it. Oh, then I went to bed. There wasn't even any mess to clean up. He had eaten everything. So, Now that there's an alligator in the garage, I wonder if my dad will have any trouble getting to his car tomorrow morning. Well, I'll just leave him a note. The note says, "Dear Dad, there is an alligator in the garage. If you need any help at all, wake me up. I can handle it. Warning, be careful." So I've got a question. I wonder if Eliza and Cammie and Malachi, maybe who else? I'm hoping that maybe Brandon and Warren and Bethany might be listening. Do you think there was really an alligator under his bed? Or do you think he told this story to face his fears? Sometimes we have fears and we just have to face them. And I don't know, sometimes if you're afraid of the dark at night, maybe you just have to leave a nightlight on till that fear of the dark goes away. But you know, in life, if we say our prayers and we really put our trust in God, He'll calm storms. He'll be near us. He'll help us overcome our fears. So this week, it's Thursday. You've got Friday and Saturday, the weekend coming up. And then all next week until I see you again next Thursday. Think about it. Think, if you ever get afraid of anything, just think about how Jesus and God and your prayer can help you overcome your fears. I'm so glad you joined us tonight for Lori, What's the Story? And I hope you'll be back next Thursday night. And I hope you'll tell your friends. Now, you know you can rewatch the story if you go to the Church of Christ, Mandarin Church of Christ webpage, and you can rewatch the story. You can watch it every day, 2 or 3 times if you want it. All right, thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Love you. Have a great week and weekend. See you next time on Lori, What's the Story? Bye-bye.